Hello everyone, welcome to Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. I am Sweetie Pinjani. This is System Verilog Essential Series. Today we are going to learn about error injection. Why this is important? As verification engineer, it is our job to ensure that design works correctly in all possible scenarios. When you do a transaction of any type, there are a lot of error scenarios possible in your transaction, due to which your transaction will not be transmitted. One simple example which I can give you is, due to any situation, your transaction got dropped and it was not transmitted. This can be one possible scenario. As a verification engineer, it is our job to ensure that we test our design in all possible error scenarios and ensure that our design is handling errors properly and it is functioning as expected. I will show you complete test bench on how to generate these error scenarios. I'll explain you each and every line of each and every class. Pay attention. The first class which we will understand is the transaction class. For your understanding, I have taken very simple transaction class. I have only two random variable, 32-bit address and 64-bit data. Very simple transaction. And I am constraining the address and data values. I want my address to be generated between the range 0 to 500 and I want my data to be generated between the range 1000 to 2000. You can constrain it as you like. This is what I have constrained in this particular test bench. Then I want to have a function to print my address and data. I am creating a function print address data wherein I am printing the values of address and data. That's it. The transaction class has two random variables. We are constraining these variables address and data, and it has one function which will display these variables address and data. The next class which we have to understand is the generator class. What is the main aim of generator? It will generate the transactions which will be given to the driver for driving the design. Let us understand this generator class. The name of the generator class is error injection gen. It is having a mailbox. The name of mailbox is gen error injection mailbox. I have explained about this mailbox in detail in this series only, which is System Verilog Essential Series at Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel by Sweetie Pinjani. In case you have not gone through, you can go through. The main use of mailbox is, if there is a data which needs to be shared between different components, you can use this mailbox. Generator is using this mailbox. Then it has a constructor which is taking the argument mailbox. Whatever mailbox argument you are getting inside your constructor, you are assigning that to the class mailbox variable. Whatever input you got from here, this particular input, this you have assigned to this variable. This is the constructor. Next is the run. Run is a task. Because it can have some delays, that's why it's a task. In this you have a transaction trans. This transaction you have already defined. You are creating an object of transaction. You are having a forever loop in which you are creating an object of your transaction. Then if the randomization is not successful, you have given some constraints for randomizing your transaction. If this is not successful, it will display an error that it is not able to randomize. If it is able to randomize, then it will put that transaction in the mailbox so that your driver can take that transaction. That's why we will put it in the mailbox and we will display the transaction. that in the generator, this is the transaction which was generated. We will say generator transaction so that we know this display is coming from the generator, and then we are calling this trans.print address data. This is the function which we have already defined. It will display your address and data values. This is the generator class. It is having a mailbox. It will generate the transactions, random transactions, and it will put in the mailbox, and it will display the transaction. This is the generator class. Now understand the driver class. This is before the driver class, we'll have a callback class. I have explained about callback in detail in the previous lecture in this series. You can go through that in detail. You will understand what is callback. In short, callback provides a hook. If you want to do something in your driver, say I want to inject some error, you can do it using the callback. Here I have a callback class. It's a virtual class. Virtual class is just like a skeleton. You need to extend that class to do something. It is just providing you skeleton. This virtual class, virtual callback class is having two virtual methods. One is pre-trans, and it is taking two arguments, which is transaction and drop bit. And it has another task which is post trans, and it is taking one argument which is transaction. Simple. Callback class is a virtual class. It is having two virtual tasks. First is pre-trans, which will take transaction and drop as the argument, and second is post-trans, which will take your transaction as argument. That's the driver callback class. Now we will understand the driver class. Inside the driver class, you are again having the mailbox. You will create an object of this callback class because I want to inject some errors in the transaction in my driver class. It is having a constructor which again has one argument. It is of mailbox type. It is having one argument, and whatever argument you are getting inside the constructor, you are again assigning it to the class variable. This is the argument which you got. This is the class variable, and you have assigned the argument which you got to the class variable. This is your constructor. Next, you will have run. In run, you need two things. One is a bit which will tell to drop the transaction or not. You need a transaction. Then you have a forever loop. We will wait for 10, time scale 10, and then we will make drop bit to 0. Drop bit is 0, it means we will not drop the transaction now. Then we are calling mailbox.peek method. What does peek do? If you go through mailbox, you will understand. Peek will retrieve the transaction from the mailbox without removing it from the mailbox. The transaction still exists in the mailbox, but you are still retrieving it in your driver. This is what peek is doing. So whatever transaction your generator has put in the mailbox, you are getting it in your driver. Then you have created a callback instance. You will call the pre-trans method. It is having two methods, pre-trans and post-trans. You will call the pre-trans method, and it has two arguments, which was transaction and drop. You are passing these two arguments, transaction and drop bit. Later on, what you will do, if your transaction is drop, the drop bit is 1, then you will get it the transaction from the mailbox, and you will display that this particular transaction is going to be dropped, and you will continue this process. Whenever you see drop equal to 1, you will get, once you get it, the transaction is removed from your mailbox. That is how get method works. Peek will not remove the transaction. The transaction will be there in your mailbox. It will retrieve without removing. Get will remove the transaction from your mailbox. If the transaction is dropped, I will remove it. And then I'll display that this particular transaction is going to be dropped. And then I'll call transmit method. Transmit method is defined. And then after transmitting, I will call post trans, and there only one argument is there, which is transaction. This was the run method. In run method, simply you are getting the transaction from the whatever was put in the generator. Then you will call pre-trans method, and then if the transaction is getting dropped, you will remove it from the mailbox and display this transaction is getting dropped. You will transmit the transaction, and then you will call the post-trans method. This is about the run. Then we have a task to transmit your transaction. There you will display whatever transaction you are transmitting, and once the transaction is transmitted, once the transmission is done, you will get it from the mailbox. Once it is transmitted, you can remove it from the mailbox because transmission has completed. This is the driver. It is having one function new, which is a constructor, and then two tasks, which is run and transmit. This was our driver. Now let us understand agent. In agent, what we do, we create an instance of your generator as well as driver, and we will also have an instance of mailbox. This will be the mailbox where you will get the transactions from generator to driver. You will create instances of your generator and driver. Then you have a build inside your agent in which you will create everything. You will create the mailbox. Here, one means it is having only one transaction now. So here you are creating a mailbox with one transaction. You are creating the object of generator, and you are creating the object of driver. You have a run method in which you are doing fork join none. I have explained about fork join also in detail in Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel, System Verilog Essential series. You can go through that. Fork join none, what it does, it will run all the processes in parallel. This is one process, this is one process, and even if none of the process has completed, it can come out. This run is calling the run method of the generator as well as driver in parallel. That's what the run of the generator is doing. This is generator class. Create the instance of your mailbox, generator, driver, build them, and then call the run method of the generator and run. That is your agent class. Now, you have to create a user defined callback class because it was just a virtual class. Remember, it was a virtual class with virtual methods. See, it's a virtual class with virtual methods, virtual tasks. In order to utilize it, you need to create your own method. Here we are creating. I am creating a class which extends from my callback class. And this was a method pre-transaction which has two arguments, transaction and drop. I have one drop bit. I'm creating that bit and I'm randomizing this bit. What I want to do, out of 11, every one transactions I want to drop. I am randomly selecting the transaction between 0 to 10. 0 to 10 means any one transaction from the 11 transactions, it will get dropped. I am making the drop this, I am randomizing it, and then I am assigning the value as 0. It means 1 out of every 11 transactions will have drop bit equal to 0 and it will get dropped. This is what I am doing in pre-trans. Drop 1 out of every 11 transactions. Then I have a test class. Here I am creating an instance of agent. I am creating an instance of the callback class. I will build the agent, call the build method of agent. Then I will create an object of the callback class and I will assign this variable which I created here to the agent's driver.callback. From agent, whatever I am getting, I'll assign to this variable. Then I have a run task. What it is doing, it is only calling agent.run. Inside agent.run, you are calling generators and drivers run method. It means once you call agent.run, generator and drivers run method is getting called. This is your test class. Create an instance of agent, then call back. Agent has the instances of driver and generator, and then agent's run method has the run method of the generator and driver. Then you will have a top module. In your top module, what we are doing? We are creating a variable of the test class. This was our test class. We will create one object of this test class. We will call the build method. It will build your agent, and your agent's build method will build the generator and driver, and then it will also create an instance of your callback class. After building, we will run it. This run will call the agents run method. Agents run method will call generator and drivers run method. And we will wait for some time and we will call $finish. This is our top. And similarly, this was one sample example. Like this, we can create more extended classes from this callback class to generate other kind of error scenarios. I have taken two examples for you to understand. One was I am dropping 1 out of every 11 transactions. Now here, if you see, I have also created another way of error generation. Here what I did, I have created a class which will extend your callback class. Here inside pre-trans, see how I am defining. It will take two arguments. One is transaction, one is drop. Now I have a modified transaction bit. Here what I am doing, 1 out of every 3 transactions I am going to modify. 1 out of every 3 transactions. If you see 0 to 2 means 3. 0, 1, 2. So 1 out of every 3 transaction. And if the modify bit is 1, what we will do? We will display first the transaction before modification, what it was, what was the address and data before modification. Then I will modify the address and data. Here I am changing the value of address and data. And later on, I am displaying the modified value. That's it. Here, what I am doing, I am modifying the address and data. 1 out of every 3 transactions. And then similar to this test and top class, I'll create the test and the top class. This is almost same. Only difference is, instead of this callback class which we are calling is different, because in this particular test I was dropping the transaction. Here I am changing the address and data. This is different kind of error, except that the code of test and run is exactly same. Only this error scenario is different. Inside test class, you will create agent and the callback class, this particular callback class. You will have the build method where you will build your agent. You will have the object of your callback class, and then you will call the run of your agent. And in the top, what you will have, you will create a object of your test. You will call the build and run. You will wait for some time and finish. That's the top class. You can go through this explanation again. I have explained each and every line of each and every class in very easy language. What I am going to do now, I am going to run and I will show you what is the output. Understand this output now. The generator generated 2 transactions at time 0. It generated this address, this data, this address, this data. We had said 1 out of every 3 transactions should be modified. Out of these 2 transactions, one transaction was picked for modification, the first one. You can see before modify, the transaction is like this. Now this transaction is going to be modified. This is the modified transaction. The address and data was modified. And now this modified transaction is being transmitted. See, this is the modified value. This got transmitted and the second transaction got transmitted as it is. Again, the generator generated 2 more transactions, this and this. And this time, nothing got dropped, nothing got modified. The transactions were transmitted as it is. Again, generator generated 2 transactions. And the first one was picked for modification. Before modification, this is the values of address and data. After modification, this is the address and data. And this modified transaction was transmitted and the second transaction was transmitted as it is. Like this, you can create n number of transaction. You can create n number of scenarios. You can have a lot of other signals. For simplicity, I have only taken address and data. You can have read write signals, you can have enable signals. Lot of things are possible here. This is for your practice. Understand this thoroughly, each and every class, understand each and every line, code this by yourself, then try to have some more on top of this. Like you can add some more variables inside your transaction, you can add some more address ranges or data ranges, and even randomize the other variables. Then in the generator class also you can have a long mailbox. I have not had too many transactions. I'm just generating uh, few transactions. You can generate a lot of transactions and see. And you can have some more error scenarios. I have just tried dropping the transaction and changing the address and data values. You can try keep the address same but write the incorrect data. Or you when you have the read write signal, maybe instead of read you can change it to write. You can insert that error. These are the different kind of ways in which you can inject the error. Try this. It is very, very important for the verification engineer, because this you are going to use. You have to create error injection scenarios. Now we are actually moving to the practical world. I hope all of you are enjoying and you are very excited for these kind of things. You can even turn it to a good project. If you have a lot of type of error things, you can turn it into a project. It will be a very good project. Try this by yourself and let me know what all things you tried in the comment section. I want to see what all things you are trying. I don't want you to be restricted to only things which I'm telling you. You have to be a self learner. Please tell me what you are trying. I'm waiting for it. And if I feel you are really excited, I'll keep on coming with so many projects. There are infinite number of project ideas which I have, and I will really show you good quality codes. I just want that you are also putting your own efforts. I'll wait for your comments and I'll soon come up with the another good quality video tutorial. To stay tuned, please subscribe to Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. Thank you.